Hello, good morning students. Students, in previous lecture we have already discussed about the demand function, and all of we know the demand function means it is the relationship between the consumer's demand for the good and its prices when other things are given. We can also study the relation between the consumer's demand for good and income of the consumer. Means student, the quantity of good that the consumer demands can increase or decrease with rise in income, and also it's depending upon the nature of the goods and the services. Students, what I said here, the consumer's demand, which is depend upon the income of the consumer as well as the quality of the goods and services also. So students, today in this section we are going to take the more information about the different types of the goods. For example, the normal goods, inferior goods, substitute goods and complementary goods. So first let us take the information about what is the normal and inferior goods. See students, first of all we will take the information about the normal goods. Then what is the normal goods? Normal goods means those goods that students, the normal goods means those goods that the quantity of these goods means here the consumer's demand increases as income increases and the demand decreases as income of the consumer decreases. Means here if the income of the consumer increases, then demand for the normal good also increases, and if the income of the consumer decreases, then demand for the normal goods also decreases. That goods we call the normal goods. Means here the consumer's demand for normal load. See students, here the consumer's demand for normal good moves same direction. Means if the income of the consumers increases, the demand for normal good also increases. If the income of the consumers decreases, means it becomes less, then demand for the normal good also decreases. Means here the consumers demand for the normal goods which moves the same direction as the income of the consumer. Means here there is the direct relation means here there is a direct relationship between the income of the consumer and the demand for the normal goods. For example, daily use goods like the clothes or maybe the vegetable, fruits. These are the example of the normal. Means if the income of the consumer increases, we also increases the use of these goods. Means the normal goods like the clothes, vegetables, fruits. And if the income of the consumer decreases, then we also decreases our demand for the normal goods. So students, normal good means as the income of the consumer increases, then demand for that good also increases. And if the income of the consumer decreases, then demand for the normal good also decreases. Those goods we call the normal good. So here there is the means consumer's demand for the normal goods moves the same direction, and there is a direct relationship between income of the consumer and demand for the normal goods. For examples, the daily use goods like the clothes, vegetables and fruits. So this is all about the normal goods. Then what is the inferior goods? Inferior goods means means low quality goods. So here the inferior goods means as the income of the consumer increases, the demand for this good falls, and income of the consumer decreases, the demand for this good increases. Those goods we call them the inferior goods. See students, the inferior goods means here if the income of the consumer increases, then demand for the inferior goods falls. Means it becomes less if the income increases. And if the income of the consumer decreases, means if the income of the consumer becomes less, then demand for the inferior goods it's become the more or it may be increases. So those goods we call the inferior goods. And here the consumer's demand for inferior good moves opposite direction. See students, here the consumer's demand for the inferior good, so which moves the opposite direction. Means if the income of the consumer increases, the demand for the goods, inferior goods falls, means decreases. And if the income of the consumer decreases, then demand for the inferior goods increases. Means here the consumer's demand for the inferior goods which goes which moves the opposite direction. For example, low quality food items like coarse or maybe a pearl millet. Pearl millet means here the sajje, and like the finger millet means ragi. See here, these are the low quality food items, means pearl millet means sajje or finger millet means ragi or coarse. So demand for these goods means if the income of the consumer increases, the demand for these goods decreases. And if the income of the consumer decreases, the demand for these goods increases. Means here the consumer's demand for the inferior goods which moves the opposite direction. So students, this is all about the inferior goods. In your examination, they may be asked you, give the meaning of the inferior goods, or maybe give the meaning of the normal goods. Or they may be asked you, write the differences between the normal goods and the inferior goods. That time you should write the differences between the inferior goods and the normal goods. All of you know the normal goods means those goods as good as the income of the consumer increases, the demand for the normal goods also increases, and the income of the consumer decreases, the demand for the normal good also decreases. And inferior goods means as the income of the consumer increases, the demand for the inferior goods falls, and income of the consumer decreases, the demand for the inferior goods increases. And here in the normal goods there is a direct relationship between income and the demand, and here the consumer's demand for the normal goods which moves the same direction, but in the means consumers demand for the inferior goods which moves the opposite direction. And you should give the example of the normal goods, means the daily use items, vegetable, fruits or clothes, and the examples of the inferior goods, low quality food items like the pearl millet or finger millet, etc. Means you should write the differences between the normal goods and the inferior goods. Then students, next goods are the complementary goods and the substitute goods. Then what is the complementary goods and what is the supplementary goods? In your examination, this question will be asked for the 4 marks. Write the differences between the complementary goods and substitute goods also. If they ask, write the differences between the complementary goods and substitute goods, then what are the differences between the complementary goods and the substitute goods? Students, here first of all the complementary goods. The complementary goods means those goods which are conjured together. See students, the complementary goods means those goods which are consumed together, means which are used together. Those goods we call the complementary good. Means here the relationship between price of the good and demand for complementary good is inverse. For example, tea and sugar, or shoes and socks, or pen and ink. Means here, suppose if the price of tea powder increases, cost, then See students, the complementary goods means which conjugate together, means which we use together. Then those goods we call the complementary goods. And here the relationship between the price of the good and the demand for these goods, these are the inverse. The inverse means it is a opposite. For example, the tea and sugar, or shoes and socks, pen and ink, means these goods we use together. And there is a relationship between the price of these goods and the demand for these goods. It is the inverse or it is the opposite. For example, suppose if the price of the tea powder which decreases or which falls, then the demand for the sugar increases. And if the price of the tea powder increases, then demand for the sugar decreases. Means here there is the relationship between the price of the good and the demand for the good. It is inverse, it is opposite. So students, this is all about the complementary goods. In your examination, if they ask you, write the definition of the complementary goods and give the example, that time you should write the definition of the complementary goods and write the example. Then next good is the substitute goods. What is the substitute goods? The substitute goods means those goods See students, the substitute goods means those goods which use the alternative to satisfy a particular needs when it is called the substitute goods. Here the relationship between price and price of good and demand for good is positive. For example, tea and coffee. Means here the tea and coffee, they are used See students, the substitute goods means those goods which use an alternative to satisfy a particular need. Means there is a relationship between the price of the substitute goods and the demand for the substitute goods. It is a positive. For example, the tea and coffee. Here the tea and the coffee, these are not consumed together, but these are the substitute to the each other. Means here, see here, the relationship between the price of good and the demand, it is a positive. Means if the price of coffee increases, then consumer shifts to tea, and if the price of tea increases, then consumer shifts to coffee. See here, the relationship between the price of gold and demand for gold, it is a positive. Means here, if the price of coffee increases, then what happens? The consumer maybe moves or he may be shifts to, means or he would like to use the tea. And suppose if the price of tea increases, then consumer shifts to the coffee. Means here, if the price of tea increases, the consumer would like to use or like to drink the coffee. Means here, when the price of gold increases, students, if when the price of goods increases, then demand for that substitute goods increases. Means suppose if the price of coffee increases, then demand, means here the consumer shifts the tea. Means here, if the price of coffee increases, the consumer demanded the tea. Means here price of coffee increases, the consumer demanded the tea. Means the demand for the tea increases. Means students, the substitute goods which use the alternative to satisfy a particular need, and the relationship between the price of the good and the demand for the substitute good, it is a positive. So students, this is all about the complementary and the substitute goods. In your examination, this question will be asked for the 4 marks. Write the differences between complementary goods and the substitute goods. That time you should write first upon the definitions of the complementary goods and the substitute goods. Means the complementary goods means those goods which are consumed together, and the substitute goods means those goods which are used alternative to satisfy a particular need. And in the complementary column, you should write the relationship between the price of good and the demand for the complementary goods. It is the inverse. And the relationship between price and the demand for the substitute goods, it is a positive. The examples of the complementary goods are tea and sugar, shoes and socks or pen and ink. And the examples of the substitute goods, the tea and coffee. Means here, if the price of the tea powder falls, then demand for the sugar increases, and if the price of the tea powder increases, then demand for the sugar decreases. And for the substitute goods, here the tea and coffee, these are the example of the substitute goods, but these are not consumed together, but they are the substitute to each other. Means here the price of the good increases, the demand for the substitute good also increases. Means if price of coffee increases, the consumer demanded the tea, means here the demand for tea also increases. And if the price of tea increases, the consumer shifts to the coffee, means here the consumer demanded the coffee. So students, this is all about the complementary and the substitute goods. Hope all of you understood all these concepts. Thank you.